Jamar Chase back at practice and actually working out. We'll talk about this coming up next on the Wincinnati Podcast.
It's an exciting time to be a Bengals fan.
This video is brought to you by BETUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Welcome to the Wincinnati Podcast. I'm Ace. He's Zim. We in regular season mode. You know what, Zim? This is the first or the last episode that we got until we have week 1 football. Bengals taking on the Patriots. We got a jam-packed show. We're going to be talking about Jamar Chase and Amarius Mims back at practice. Somebody's talking about Burton might be inactive. We got to talk about that. Over, under props. So we're going to get into some of the things that we think with this game you guys should take advantage of. And then we're also going to talk about, of course, the Bengals versus the Patriots. We got to get into that. But before we get into the show, partner, how are you doing tonight? Looks like you got the cup ready. You got the fitted ready. What's that say on your shirt? Let's what?
Oh, let's go.
No.
This actually, no, you know what? This is like one of my lucky shirts. This is actually a Geo shirt, though. So on the back, it's like, so yeah. What's that on the front of your shirt?
Yeah, man. This is the Tres Amigos, the Quattro joint.
Woo!
513 on the back. You feel me? So yeah, we turning up.
I don't even got one of those. I told you, Ooze got one. I was gonna let him wear it to school. He's like, nah, I gotta say that for game day. So he's holding his out for Sunday. He's hyped. Okay. He's ready. If y'all haven't seen it on newstrikecity.com, y'all gotta go check this out. The 513 got so much detail on it. It's such a dope design. It's so fire. Like, I know that there's some other stuff that's out there, but to me, I think this one is like moving forward with the whole culture, and we got the wide receivers, and we're going to do this collectively as a unit. Even if it's 1 year, we're going to do it with these boys. So I really think it's a dope design.
Nah, for sure. And make sure y'all get all of that Zim material that he got on zimhuday.com. You already know what time it is. The merch is fire. You got the Slim Shicey joint going crazy right now.
I think I might drop something. If Jamar, hey, we're going to do this. If Jamar drops a contract tomorrow, then I'm going to drop a banger. I have a great, I have a dope design I've been sitting on. So if Jamar drops, you better get him while they have. If that news breaks, as soon as you see I'm gonna make it go live as soon as I see that.
Crazy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's go ahead and get into today's show. Watch out. All right, man. We got to talk about it. Biggest news of the day. I felt like everybody was collectively holding their breath. Jamar Chase returns to practice, which he never left, right? But he returned to practice with actually going through and participating in practice, was fully padded up, going out there and making plays with Joe Burrow. Seemed like things were back to normal, man. Like, for the most part, this has been a situation where people were wondering, is Chase going to play week 1? A lot of people didn't know. But he's back, man. I don't think he really, a lot of people are like, oh, is he in shape and this and that? Like, I don't like Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Like Burrow said today, man, he could catch a touchdown the first game. I think no issue. I don't think we're going to be worried about any of the conditioning or any of that. It's Jamar Chase. It's a top 3 NFL receiver. I don't give a damn if he came out there on Saturday and walked through. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. What were your thoughts like when you kind of heard about this?
I knew it's funny. People say, well, this is an unwritten rule. I'm not going to tell y'all who told me this, but just know that this is inside the building. The unwritten rule is that if you're capable of playing, and I was told directly, if you don't grind, you don't shine with us. Like, it doesn't matter about your contract situation or not. Like, we handle your business, but we getting ready for this game. And if he had not come out there today, I don't know if y'all seen the Diana Rossini, I think, report, and she was saying like today is a very big day if he's gonna play. That's real, and that's from inside the building. And I actually tweeted the same thing like 3-4 days ago, because it's not just exclusive to the Bengals. But how would you feel as a player? You've been grinding through all these practices, and the dude ain't even come out there like in no pads or nothing like that, and then just says, "Yeah, okay, I'm ready to play." I mean, he's essentially kind of doing that. But at least he got the process started on Wednesday. Like, that's the day. Like, and when we get to the season, it's the same thing. So him coming out there, everybody come on saying, I think the deal gonna get done on Thursday. I'm like, that's cool, but Wednesday is really the real day, and you got to be able to be available and do that. And it was so refreshing to see him, just him and T together. Like, I just was watching, Bengals posted another T Higgins clip. They are dangerous. Oh my God. We don't even really get a chance. That's the thing the ops don't really understand. We haven't really seen them that many games together outside of 2021. 2022 and 2023 were both marred by injuries from both of them. So we never really got a chance to like see them. And watching them walk out there together, watching T Higgins catch her, I'm like, bro, I got greedy. I was like, bro, I know Jamar out there, and I think this deal gets done, but come on, like, dog, this is like, we could tell stories about these dudes, like the guys on your shirt. And the crazy thing is, they could do like something low key short for T Higgins, like a 3-year deal type of thing, and give the window of, especially with all this Burton news that we're gonna get into later. I just think that, to me, if you're gonna say bye bye to DJ Reader, bye bye to Bates, you're telling me what you are. You are an offensive team. And you're built on firepower. If that's the case, you got the firepower in the building. Like, I got greedy.
Go all the way in on it, man. I feel like you said, this is an offensive team now. The most important pieces to me, and this is not to, I know we got, defensive guys, and it's not a shot at them or anything. It's just the way that this team is set up, man. Like, to me, the most important players on the team kind of tend to be on the offensive side of the ball. I would probably say Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T Higgins, maybe even Orlando Brown, because you got to have Orlando Brown to protect.
You got to throw Trey Hendrickson in there too. But the only issue
Trey is in there. But let me ask you this: if it came down to you having, let's say you can only sign one, right? Trey Hendrickson or T Higgins, which one you signing?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Yeah, which one? Nah. Which one are you signing? Let me hear what you guys got to say in the comments, because I want to know. I feel like they'll probably say Trey, because the whole thing with T this summer has been, oh, we can't pay 2 receivers. Right. But in a world where
in a perfect world
that you can have the choice between the two.
And we're assuming Jamar Chase is already on the roster.
Jamar Chase is on the roster. Joe Burrow's on the roster. Orlando Brown's still on the roster. What are we doing?
I'm gonna say Trey. The only reason why I'm gonna say Trey is because I'm assuming that we got Burton, Yoshi, and they're just gonna draft another guy, and we'll have another T. But I will say this: T Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow, to me, is a foundation, and it's hard to talk. Like, it's hard to talk me off of that, and because he's so young. All right, I'm switching back. I'm switching.
Me T. You already know what time it is. Give me T. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that's not.
Then who gonna rush the passer? What's your defense gonna look like?
The defense ain't gonna. Your offense is your defense. Let me put a page out of your book, bro. If I'm dropping 40 a game, I don't like 38, 30 plus 40 a game. Like,
bro,
I'm gonna just have to bank on Miles Murphy. I'm gonna have to bank on heavy defensive picks in the draft. I was gonna say
we go defense heavy in the draft every year.
Defense heavy for sure.
Every year.
I'm gonna try to go after the premium positions, edge rushers. Like, I may take 2 or 3 edge rushers a year, bro, in the draft until I hit on
That's nasty.
Like, straight up corners, whatever the premium position is.
Yeah,
and then I'm probably like just throwing whatever.
You're throwing a bag at T Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. You can't get no free agents because you're 3. You locked up.
I don't need any. Like, I don't need like after that, bro. If I'm locked in for like the next 4 or 5 seasons with that, you talk about 6 with Chase. I'm good.
Bro, and then on top of that, I'm drafting wide receivers. They're just gonna be like in the 5th rounds every year. It's gonna be like 4th, 5th rounds. Like it's gonna be like Yoshi and all that, and like in Burton and them. It's gonna be like 4th, 5th, 6th round wide receivers.
But I mean, obviously that's not gonna happen. So I don't want somebody to clip this part like these guys are crazy. They're talking about
F them, bro. Like talk that talk. Nah, I said that the whole entire time when they were talking about trading T.
Yeah.
You're trading T to go find a T.
For a third. I couldn't believe that, bro.
Look. You're trading T. What sense do this make? Like for another team, like say you were the Titans when they had Derrick Henry and they traded away AJ Brown or something like that. But you're trading T. Higgins to go get another T. Higgins. That doesn't see. That's the simple concept to me. It doesn't make sense. If you already got T. Higgins, why would you trade for T. Higgins? You see what I'm saying? So that's the part that like makes me now. If they said no, we're gonna be more
because they think it's a cheaper T. Higgins. So like what they're thinking is that if I'm playing devil's advocate, which I agree with you, I don't think that you could just go out and go to Walmart and find another T. Higgins. Like I don't think you can really do that, right? So I think what their thing is oh well, if we get somebody that's adequate to T, I can spend that money elsewhere. But the reason that doesn't work for me is they're not spending the money elsewhere. Like it's one thing if they were doing that, like you said and brought up before, like, all right, we didn't sign Jesse Bates because we signed T. Now we're not signing T at all. So like, do you really want to say, all right, we let T walk, we're going to spend this money elsewhere? Like, where are they going to actually spend that money? Like, would it be on Trey Hendrickson? I don't know. I don't think so. This is just my thoughts on that. I don't think that they would. Like, I think that they would just sit on the money and be like, you know what? This is the makeup for the money that we already spent on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. We just going to sit on it. We just going to roll it over like we normally do. It's going to be like another $20 million or something like that. We don't know. We're going to think that it's probably for CTB or something like that, but it's not a guarantee based off of the history that we've seen. Now, I don't want to speak bad on that, but I'm just saying like, that's the type of stuff that's been going on. I'm not trying to put that energy out there, but you have to invest in these players, bro. Like you can't just keep kicking the can down the road and then deciding like, oh, if this person doesn't take a bunch of non-guaranteed money, we're moving on to the next. Like I can't sign up for that.
See, the flaw in what you were saying as you were talking though, it made me think like, all right, well, if I got a T. Higgins, then you're telling me I'm not going to be able to keep Cantel Brett. I'm not going to be, you know what I'm saying? So that conversation is still loomed, like it's still there. And that's the unfortunate part. It's like it's not that simple. You could try to simplify it, like how I just tried to. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm switching over to T. I tried to simplify and be like, yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow is a no-brainer. But if you're telling me the front office isn't going to continue, they're not going to retain any of the guys on the defensive side, it's like, bro, like it's just nuts. It's nuts, bro, because I just watch all these teams that are not better than us go and spend so much money on players that are not better than them. Like we watched the Browns spend an absurd amount of money on players that are not better than our players. Like I'm not talking Myles Garrett. I'm talking about like Deshaun Watson, you know what I'm saying, Amari and all these dudes like that. They giving Amari the extension or not the extension, but the restructure and the money in the frame of an older guy, an old T. Higgins. And then they go and take the money and go pay like, you know, like Denzel and guys like and some of the guys on the back end. But I'm like, I mean, I like those dudes, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'll take that money if I was them. I use that to go sign CTB, Miles Murphy and company like later on. They're just spending the money on guys that I'm just like, dog, like if we had that type of money, we would be unstoppable. Can you imagine a defensive line with DJ Reader and Sheldon Rankins? Like, we ain't even been talking about Sheldon Rankins a lot at all. Like, I haven't seen Sheldon Rankins' name pop on my timeline in a long time. If you put him next to DJ Reader, I just was on a show, and I was talking about how good I think that the Lions are going to be, and I picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. And I was going through their defensive line, and I was like, man, it's stacked. You know what? And I was like, if Reader was on the Bengals, I would be saying it's stacked too, though. And so that's the crazy part is like, it sucks, man. It does suck sometimes. But going back to Jamar Chase, very, very happy that he's out there. A lot of BS over the week. A lot of people, a lot of Bengals fans, I voiced my frustration last week talking about like people talking about like he's not going to be there, but he actually came out there, and I think he's going to play. And do they get the deal done? We on the report from Fowler is that they're on a 48-hour crunch. That was at the beginning of the day. So I feel like they're trying to cram this deal in. It sets up to be an announcement around that Thursday night time frame. And Jamar Chase said at the end of practice that he is going to talk to the media on Friday. Joe Burrow also said they asked him, "Is Jamar ready?" And he said, and he said, "Yep." They said, "No, I mean right now." He said, "Yep." And so it was a lot of speaking today, as a matter of fact, almost like they know something a little bit. Not trying to read too much into stuff, but it feels like they've got something in the works, and they feel like it will get done. And if they didn't, I think Jamar probably would have just spoke today and just said, "You know what, like." It just got pushed to next year. I'll just whatever. But him saying I'll talk on Friday is because if he were to talk today and it didn't get done and he jumped the gun and said, "Yeah, we ain't get it done," but they're still negotiating, it would make him look stupid.
It would be a different vibe. It would be a different vibe, bro.
The whole vibe. Yep.
Completely different vibe. But shout out to our boy Bash. Uno is back. The league can cry about it. Shout out to Bash. Also, shout out to Justin Neff. He says, "Houday, can't wait until Sunday. It's going to be fireworks for sure." And shout out to Ryan, man. We see you out there in the crowd, Ryan, with all of the energy out there, bro. We appreciate you. But with that being said, let's pay some bills and toss it to our sponsor, BetUS.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
Yes, sir. BetUS. Check that link in the description. We'll also be going over some of our picks later in the show, so definitely make sure that you look at BetUS and that link in the description. Let's talk about another story that came out today, bro. It's been 2 guys ad nauseum that we've had to talk about, bro, and that has been Jamar Chase, and the other one has been Jermaine Burton. So we're just chilling today. Everybody's watching on the timeline for the Uno news. Then we get some quotes that come out here from Paul Dehner Jr. on Jermaine Burton. He's kind of been the person spearheading the movement of, the Bengals aren't as high on Jermaine Burton as people think. There's going to be an opportunity where he may not play that much his rookie year. Some of the quotes that he has given here, I got a couple of them. The scouting report has proven to be true. Cincinnati did run into issues getting Burton on board and up to professional standards quickly. Al Michaels dropped a line on the preseason broadcast about Burton sleeping through meetings. And while the specific accusation has not been verified, that's consistent with the sentiment inside the building about his early approach. He has not been in the vicinity of where he needs to be as a professional. He also said the Bengals won't put him out there or even make him active on game day until they feel that he's comfortable and he's preparing for meetings and he'll be in the right spots and can be trusted by the quarterback.
Can I say that our friend of the show, Elise Jesse, did actually interview him last week and asked him specifically about the sleeping in meetings thing, and Jermaine Burton said definitively, "No, I don't even know where that came from."
Right. So I mean, this is a unique kind of situation, bro. I'm just gonna get my thoughts on it. Like, I get it. Like, it's hard for them to sell me on Jermaine Burton shouldn't be playing. If Jermaine Burton is inactive on game day, that is insane. I'm sorry, bro. Like, there's no way you can get me on board with Jermaine Burton being a healthy scratch in a game where you might need him, especially when it comes to playing against teams like the Chiefs week 2, teams that you're going to need Jermaine Burton for him to come in. Now, obviously, like, these are things that you knew about Jermaine Burton potentially that could happen before he came in. I'm not going to say that the kid is doing it because I don't know what to believe, but this is the only source kind of saying this stuff. So to me, he doesn't strike me as that person, but obviously I'm not in the building to be there. And I think every rookie has room for growth when it comes to being a professional. I can think about some guys that got talked about in the past here in Cincinnati where they've kind of talked about that. But here's the thing, man, like with the opportunities that they gave him, he was the best player in the preseason, like Zim has said ad nauseum. And I feel like we've talked about this ad nauseum. to me, it just doesn't make sense not to play Jermaine Burton, bro. Like, if the thing is, like, I don't know how a quarterback wouldn't trust him. And these are the things that I'm hearing that don't make sense because the guy doesn't drop passes. What are you talking about? You don't know if the quarterback can trust him. Like, what balls, is Jermaine Burton dropping? Like, I'm not seeing, like, the dude has a catch rate that's crazy. The dude has scored in every single game in the preseason with bums at quarterback. Like, what are we talking about? He, like, this whole notion that he doesn't have the talent or the IQ to get on the field. How the hell did the guy play for Nick Saban in college? Like, I'm not understanding what these people are talking about when it comes to Jermaine Burton. Like, help me figure this out, bro. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here where we're making this a whole big thing about Burton? And it doesn't seem to me like I haven't heard his teammates call him out, right? Like, I haven't heard anybody take shots at him. I haven't heard anybody say, like, you know, he needs to get better and be a better pro. I mean, the only thing I can think about is the Joe Burrow clip, but I don't know if it, because, like, I was a little tuned out at the end of the Burrow press conference, but I feel like they asked him about Burton, and he was saying, like, at the beginning of the camp, he felt like things were a certain way. At the end, he feels like he's not the same player. So, to me, the one thing that did stick out, though, was when Joe was talking today and he mentioned his weapons at receiver, he didn't mention Burton. So I was like, what's up with that? He didn't mention Burton. So I was kind of like, the antennas went up. What are your thoughts on this, bro? I know what we would do, but, like, what is going on, bro?
I feel like I've spoken on this so many times. Somebody in the comments talking about he ran the round routes. That's incorrect. In film, like, now, I did see Zack Taylor kind of give him an earful on, I forgot what it was. It wasn't like he was yelling at him, but he was definitely explaining something to him. So I will give people that. But go watch the film on that game. He was the highest rated player in I don't. And what is this thing with Bengals fans, like, fighting it? Like, it's like they don't want him to be good or something. Like, what's that about? Where they're like, yeah, I mean, sleeping means he's running around, right? Why do y'all want that to happen? That's the part that somebody got to explain to me. That's the part that's confusing to me. Because if a dude going crazy in the preseason, I'm automatically assuming we like, yeah, it's lit. Like, it's like, what are we doing? Like, I don't get it. Like, why are we assuming on one hand they'll say, yeah, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Exactly. But the only thing, exactly, doesn't that work on both ends? Like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to speculate on what I don't know. But what do we all know? He went crazy on the field. Like, the only part that you can see, he actually did that. So, like, life is about perspectives. So if your only perspective is, I've heard that he whatever, whatever. I heard that, but I don't know that. But you're not accepting that on the other end, somebody could be like, yeah, I heard that he's real good with his teammates, and I heard that everybody getting along, and I heard that he's really good. You got to accept both of them because you don't know neither one, or you could just forget all of that. But let's say that we know one thing: he played really well. And if you come back and you're a Bengals fan telling me, oh, well, that was against backups, I'm going to say the same thing I told you on the show.
Yep.
Why didn't everybody else do it? If it's that easy, why didn't everybody else do it?
Nobody else did.
Only people that tell me that are ops when they be like, oh, Burrow only did this because he was going up against our backups, or Mixon only ran for this because he was going against our backups. How come when Burton does something good, Bengals fans are fighting it? Do you know that all the teams in the NFL would love to have Burton on their team too? The Steelers, who is in our division, would take Burton as their wide receiver 2 right now. And as Bengals fans were fighting it, saying like, oh, no, he not really, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. The crazy thing is, I just did this joint with Ocho, and I was picking like T. Higgins to be the very first person to score the touchdown. Ocho disagreed with me because I don't know if like when they recorded this or whatever, like he was like, well, if Chase isn't there, I feel like they're going to bracket T. He said, I think Jermaine Burton is going to score a touchdown. He literally said that. So like, I don't feel like Ocho is out of the loop, especially when it comes to the wide receiver position with the Bengals. Like, take that with a grain of salt, but he said that he felt like Jermaine Burton was going to score a touchdown. So to me, that says a lot. That says a lot about how he feels about Burton. And to me, like, here's the thing. Like, some people are like, oh, Burton was never going to be wide receiver 3. And so I think that there's a difference between wide receiver 3 and slot receiver, because some people were like, oh, Burton doesn't line up in the slot. Burton doesn't have to line up in the slot at all to be effective or to be wide receiver 3. He could be wide receiver 3 based off of the yardage and the impact that he has in the game, which we already know. Jermaine Burton is a deep threat. He's a guy that can end up scoring just like this. So to me, Yoshi, I think, is wide receiver 3, right? But Burton could challenge for that. And maybe they're both wide receiver 3. Like, we kind of talk about Jamar and T both being wide receiver 1, but I feel like that's a situation where they both could be wide receiver 3. But that's neither here nor there, man. This is just getting like kind of crazy right now, man. We'll see what happens. It was a lot of people that said Jamar Chase wasn't going to practice today. Right. I would love to see what are the odds of Jermaine Burton being inactive. That's
if you're watching this if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're not on YouTube and we're just showing you the film on Burton, I don't know how you could be a Bengals fan and you're not adamant that this guy should be out there. Like, your other options you've seen Trent Irwin when we went to an AFC Championship game. Like, you saw what that looks like. Look at this dude breaking people up. Where's the route that's running wrong? PFF is going to grade people based off of the route and everything that's going on. Double move, everything on point. All opposed, every single route that he's ran, all 22, there's nothing on here that he's run incorrectly.
And there's nothing. There's no drops either.
Maybe they might have wanted to see something different on some of the back shoulders, but he's cooking. So you could teach that up. So the whole concept of he's not doing what we want him to do, but as a fan of the team, I just don't understand how you couldn't be an advocate for this. That's my only point.
All I'm saying is, you know what time it is. I said week 2, meet me in Burton Head. Like, let's get this going, man. I don't see, like, as people who watch this game, we have a lot of energy and a lot of kind of say on some of these platforms. Obviously, we're not coaches or anything like that, but y'all got to give me more on this Burton situation to sell me on he shouldn't be playing when we see plays like that out on the field. It's clear that it has absolutely nothing to do with his ability. He has absolutely nothing to do with his ability, bro.
Ace better than me, because don't even try to sell not playing. I ain't even listening. Just like y'all people probably not listening to me. They're like, I know something from the coaches magically, and I can teleport my mind into another place, and I know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, okay. My bad to cut you off, bro. He talked about Burton at the end, and the funny thing to me is none of the reporters tweeted it. And I'm like, he's talking about Burton. He's saying that he's improved.
I'm gonna it's strategic.
He's saying that he improved as a player in terms of, like, when he first came into now. He was like, it's like night and day. So, like, it doesn't sound to me like he's in Joe Burrow's doghouse. Like,
I think us talking about it, and then but the thing is, people will say, well, it's fans blowing it up. But I didn't ask Paul Dana to write that story. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as long as that's a story and people are writing stories and we're on the show and we're talking about it, it's not because I just woke up and I just wanted to talk about Jermaine Burton. What happens is people write stories locally, nationally, or whatever, and then we speak on it. And so there'll be somebody, and I've seen it, they'll be like, well, I mean, you just got to let it play out. Well, the writers aren't letting it play out. Why aren't you telling them that?
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, in order to make me feel better, I got to think about some food from Midwest Best Barbecue, home of the best wings in the natty. Let's get into it from our friends with the amazing sound. This is one of the best jingles I've ever heard in my life. Tim, keep them coming. But we're going to toss this over to Midwest Best Barbecue. Wings and them CTVs. Midwest Best is the place to be for queuing wings. Midwest Best is the place to be for queuing wings. It's the AC to the Zim, M to the B's. Uno wings, Jeep on wings, and them CTVs. Midwest
Midwest Best is the place to be for Q&A wings. Midwest Best is the place to be for Q&A wings. Say what up to Jordan Battle. We be going to battle. Intercepting balls like CTB did on Seattle. Putting 6 up on AZ. Juice gang amazing. Make sure you come get these wings. The Zim stay blazing. And T game be smooth as ice. Jamal making DBs fold. TB got big levels. And now you already know. Hits are pretty for Uno wings. Cam got the new wings. We call them CTBs. Only at MBs. H to the Zim. M into the B's.
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Get you some of those CTB wings. Get you some of those Uno wings. They just posted on Twitter today talking about Uno coming back to practice. Why not stop in and get you some Uno wings? Especially if tomorrow we get that news, you got to celebrate and commemorate with some Uno wings. So definitely be sure to tap in with Midwest Best Barbecue. All right, bro. We got some things to look into. In terms of some of our props from this week, I'm going to throw this one up on the screen right now. Joe Shiesty, powered by BETUS, they have got this line. Joe Burrow over or under 254.5 yards. Who are you taking in that circumstance with Joe Burrow on the over or the under? Which one are you doing?
I'm going to take the over. I think I actually predicted, I think he'd be around like 270 something week 1 against the Pats. So I'm taking the over on that. I think that's easy work. I really do.
I think it's easy work too. No offense to the Patriots, but like looking at them corners, bro, like Christian Gonzalez, they got 5'8" corner out there starting that T. Higgins already kind of killed before. There's not really anybody in that secondary that I absolutely am worried about if I am the Cincinnati Bengals. And I feel like whenever we talk and whenever we preview these things, the first thing that I do, I jump out. All right, let me see what the Patriots, corners look like, or let me see what whoever's corners look like. And I'm looking and I'm like, Jonathan Jones, a college free agent. That's what we're doing. Wasn't he a special teamer? Marcus Jones, the guy that's how tall is this guy? 5'8"?
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez didn't really prove too much. Doesn't look
I like Christian Gonzalez. I like Christian Gonzalez a lot.
I like him, but what did he do last season?
He finished. He had some good moments, but this is the thing. Because of Jamar coming back, I don't care about Christian Gonzalez.
I don't care about Christian Gonzalez.
I respect
him. I think he's the best one that they got, but you're selling me on a 5'8" Marcus Jones, right. On T. Higgins that's 6'4".
We saw that. Yeah, y'all don't remember when T. Higgins was killing them. I'm very excited for the season.
I just at home week 1, Joe Shiesty ready to cook people because he's got a chip on his shoulder. Like a lot of people forget what he said before the season. He was like, "Oh, a lot of people forgot me. I'm about to remind them." I think he does that week 1. I'm gonna say dude comes out and throws for 325, 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like Shiesty is ready to join that. I think he's ready to already be in the news cycle as being looked at as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I don't know why you wouldn't have him there. If you don't, you're a casual. I'm sorry. How you didn't see last year that Joe Burrow was that guy, the only guy that could go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes. I don't care how many MVPs you got. I don't care about what you don't do in the playoffs. When this guy goes into the playoffs against Pat Mahomes, and whenever he matches up with him, he steps up. I think he's got a point to prove, bro. So I think he's going to come out here and do his thing. I'm going to take the over.
You got so many people that have a vested interest in not wanting to play the Bengals, or they don't want to play Joe Burrow. What I learned from me being on the AFC North roundtable, like the comment section and stuff, it's only about Joe Burrow being hurt. It's like how you said, I don't know how you don't see this. I don't know how you don't know Burrow coming off a back-to-back. They don't look at it like that at all. All they talk about is him possibly getting hurt. And that's the only thing that people talk about. It's never about this is what you should do to Joe Burrow to beat him. I never hear that argument at all.
You can't stop him.
That's what I know. It's they'll point to a record, our record versus the Browns, or or like the Ravens or something. I'm like, but bro, it didn't stop him from winning back-to-back division titles. Like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me that he's not good in the division and he won it. So, like, what else you got? And then it's just like, oh, is he going to be available
in the division? Like, if you want to, like, whether you want to say he's hurt or not, he's still done more than your quarterback has done in the playoffs.
That's all. But then if you say that, this is the crazy thing. So they'll go to a regular season record or something versus Burrow, right? And then they'll make that a big deal. Like, what's his record versus Baker Mayfield, or what's his record versus Lamar or whatever, right? They'll make that regular season thing a big deal, and I'll be like, okay, well, surely the playoffs and stuff must be a big, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's a big deal for you, then me telling you about the playoffs, you shouldn't be. They'd be like, oh, that's just a second place type of thing. You didn't go. I'm like, but you're talking about regular season games. Like, why?
It's because they got a regular season resume and they don't have a playoff resume. That's why.
Because I'm just saying to myself, and it reminds me of, this is what I said this on the show.
Yeah.
If Bengals fans, we say that we're 3-1 or 5-1 versus Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes because somebody might challenge you to say so. And then when they challenge you, of course, I'm going to say, yeah, well, my record is that. But leading off as I'm 3-1 versus Pat Mahomes sounds stupid. Like, do they know how stupid that sounds? And that's how I think I'm trying to convey to purple people. That's how stupid you sound. Like, you're like, this is his record versus Joe Burrow. And I'm like, so, all right, so did he do that in the playoffs? Did he knock him off? Did it stop Joe Burrow from winning the division? They're like, no. So I'm like, so why would I care? Just like a Chiefs, you know, they don't care about Pat Mahomes being 1-3 versus Joe Burrow. They won championships. The Bengals went and won conferences. You know, they won the conference and won the division and won all these different things. Why would I care about that head-to-head record? And that's the part I don't think is like correlating or something. I don't know what I'm not doing.
No, I mean, but back to Zach Moss, over or under 46.5 yards. I'm going to take the over on this one, bro. You know, even with them splitting carries between Chase Brown and Zach Moss, it sounds like Zach Moss is going to be the guy. Dan Pitcher talked about him being a guy. I feel like it's going to be a committee thing. However, I feel like 46.5 yards without them having Christian Barmore is definitely plausible. So I'm going to take the over on Zach Moss to get that, even in the backfield where I feel like he'll have to share the ball with Chase Brown. I like for him to have the over on that. What about you?
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I just think that Chase Brown is going to get some of them touches too. And I don't know. You know what's so crazy? I took the over on the Burrow, but it's not by much. I think that Burrow's going to have like 270 or something and throw for 2 touchdowns. Somebody was like, he's throwing for 3 touchdowns. I think if they have
Somebody said 4 of them things. Our boy Chef said he's going to have 4 of them things.
If he has a comfortable lead, think about the 2022 season. When they get a comfortable lead, they're not putting the foot on the pedal like that. And I think they'll say, this is week 1. He just came back from a wrist injury. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. If it's a blowout, Jake Browning coming in. I'm dead serious. I just don't think that he'll have the opportunity to put up them type of numbers. Just like I think Zach Moss is a product of, like, you know, the rest of our wide, like the same conversation with the wide receivers. Zach Moss has to share that route with Chase Brown to a certain extent. Will it be week 1? We'll see, but I'm gonna take the under on it.
All right, we got another one here, and I think that we're gonna take advantage of this on BetUS.
Let's do that.
Bengals are favored by 9 points, or you can also take the over/under on the points of 40.5. You can take the money line. What are you thinking about on the spread? I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the spot. What are you thinking about with this spread of 9 points?
I'm gonna take the under on the 9 points, but I'm gonna do a bet live.
So basically, you're taking a +9 on the Patriots. You like the Patriots to cover.
I do.
9 points.
I do. I think that a comfortable win might be a 7-point victory. To win 10+ week 1 is weird, bro.
Yeah,
so
I think that's weird.
But let me see. Let me log in. I'm gonna do something real quick. Let me try to.
Yeah. And while we're talking, I mean, money line. One of the things that I like to do personally is I like to parlay money lines that may look like that. You see the minus 400. I might parlay that with something else on my ticket when I'm doing that. I might do a heavy favorites. I might pick about 3 of them, parlay that, and see what I get there. Now the 420, that's not gonna get you anything. So the minus 420, I would probably parlay that with something else, just to give you something else there. So let's go ahead and put a 50 on that. Let's go ahead and parlay that with something else. What we doing here, Zim?
I'll take the pay. Oh, they ain't gonna let me do it.
Yeah, because they both are similar to the game. So that's cool. Just go ahead and take the.
I'll just do this. How about this? I'll do the straight, just for the sake of Wincinnati. Let's take the Bengals to cover the 9. Just
I'm gonna take 100. I'm gonna take 200 on that. Give me 200 on that, man. I'd say 200 on that. $40.
That's
yeah,
it.
for those big people out there, you might want to spend about a rack on that. I mean, to me, sometimes people don't like that, but a sure thing. It's kind of one of them Money Mayweather type bets where he just puts it on the heavy favorite.
Yeah.
So this.
Oh no! It was listed. I was like, hold on, that don't make sense. We're gonna go Cincinnati with it. I'm gonna take the Bengals to cover the 9, and we just gonna run it.
Yeah, you got.
You
think about
it.
Say
200.
9, so and you got 9 coming back for the game.
So you're good. So you're good for 100. I'm gonna do 100, and then we're gonna risk 200.
Let's split it, bro. I'm gonna throw my 100 in there with you. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
All right, bet. So you guys, make sure you guys are rocking with us. We rocking with BETUS. Make sure you place those bets there. They have great odds there. You can get the security deposit bonus up to 125%. So definitely be sure to check out them. And the link for this is in the description. If you want to tell me and Zim, go ahead and do that. We put it in there. They also have player props as well, some of those ones that you saw on the screen. So if you feel like Zack Moss is going to give you 47 yards, feel free to check them out. I'm going to place those bets there. So shout out to BETUS once again for sponsoring the pod. But what would it be without us being able to come here and talk about the actual game, bro? Let's go ahead and get into this quickly because I know we don't have much time left here. But what are your thoughts on the Bengals versus Patriots? How do you see this game going? What do you think the Bengals do out there in Paul Brown Stadium or in Paycor Stadium to establish themselves as a victor?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again, please? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, what do you think the Bengals need to do to get out here with a victory in Paycor?
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I caught that. The Bengals need to make sure that they enforce their will up front on with this new offensive line makeup with the addition of Trent Brown. I think if Amari Smith's practice full today or limited or anything and he's active, then I'm imploring 6-man fronts with him in jumbo packages and early downs. Control the clock. Play Joe Burrow mistake-free. Simplify the game plan. Give him the Jake Brown and game plan early in this game. But establish different things that are going to help you out. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I would get Uno involved early because he hasn't been there. Get him the rock. Let him see what it's like to get out there. And then give T. Higgins opportunities. And I think that'll help build up like their early confidence on a lot of stuff. I just think that it's very key to keep them very involved. And then after that, then start feeding some of them other guys. But I really think that the key is just to play an efficient game. If that means playing the field position game, not turning the ball over, simple stuff, so that you don't have like a wild week 1. And I think you can handily win this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that they can actually attack them through the air in this. I mean, I look at Dan Pitcher, he's the quarterback coach. I look at Zack Taylor, he's a former quarterback. I look at the Patriots secondary, it's not good. I think they would be terrified if Joe Burrow was able to attack with T. Higgins and a Jamar Chase while you have a guy like Jacoby Brissett trying to fight back. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think the Bengals defense is going to be able to take advantage of that offensive line that's injured right now, doesn't have much talent outside of Mike at the guard position or tackle position, wherever they're playing them at. So Trey Hendrickson is going to have a big day. The defense is going to have a big day. Bengals impose their will. So I definitely like the Bengals to win this one. And I think they get out of here with a W, take care of business, and do their thing. And, you know, I think that we're here on Monday to talk about it and see how things are. So if you guys want to join us on Monday, please be sure to join the Wincinnati Podcast live every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also be sure to check out the rest of the shows on the network. The Bengals Post will be live tomorrow. So if there is some Jamar Chase news, you can catch their analysis there. They also will be doing a post-game analysis as well, or we might do something here. So be sure to hit that subscription button. Make sure you hit that notification bell because that will keep you guys up to date. Once again, make sure that you follow us on Twitter at New Stripe City, at Zim Hude. And thank you guys so much for listening to the Wincinnati Podcast.
Go Chiefs!